Hey everybody, welcome to our video lesson for Brown Girl Dreaming and the poems Another Way and Gifted. In this video, we're going to read and annotate the two poems Another Way and Gifted by Jacqueline Woodson. Make sure you have your copy of the poems in front of you. If you do not, then you should pause the video and get out your copy of the poems as well as a couple of colored pencils or pens. As we look at the poems, our primary objective will be to annotate pieces of textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly, as well as inferences drawn from the text. All right, those are a lot of big words, and we'll be going through that in more detail. But basically, we're going to be looking at details in the poem to see what it's trying to tell us as the reader. All right, so remember that to annotate means that we'll be making notes on the text to help us understand it better. So let's get started. The first step we need to take is to read the poem. Listen and follow along as I read the poem for us. Another way. While our friends are watching TV or playing outside, we are in our house, knowing that begging our mother to turn the television on is useless. Begging her for 10 minutes outside will only mean her saying no, saying, "You can run wild with your friends anytime. Today I want you to find another way to play." Then one day my mother comes home with 2 shopping bags filled with board games: Monopoly, checkers, chess, ants in the pants, sorry, trouble, just about every game we've ever seen in the commercials between our Saturday morning cartoons. So many games we don't know where to begin playing, so we let Roman choose. And he chooses trouble because he likes the sound the die make when it pops inside its plastic bubble. And for days and days, it is Christmas in November. Games to play when our homework is done. Monopoly money to count and checkers to slam down on boards. Ants to flip into blue plastic pants. Chess pieces to practice moving until we understand their power. And when we don't, Roman and I argue that there's another way to play, called our way. But Hope and Dale tell us that we're too immature to even begin to understand. Then bend over the chessboard in silence, each becoming the next chess champ of the house, depending on the day and the way the game is played. Sometimes Roman and I leave Hope and Dell alone to go to another corner of the room and become what the others call us, the 2 youngest, playing games we know the rules to: tic-tac-toe and checkers, hangman and connect the dots. But mostly we lean over their shoulders as quietly as we can, watching, waiting, wanting to understand how to play another way. Okay, so let's start annotating. When we annotate, we ask questions, make connections, and highlight important words or phrases. So as we look at another way, we're going to look for imagery and themes. In this poem, we can see imagery related to sight and action. The poet describes common activities like watching TV and playing outside, creating a vivid picture of the setting. Let's look at the phrases watching TV, playing outside, and begging our mother. Here we can see imagery related to sight and action. The poet describes common activities like watching TV and playing outside, creating a vivid picture of the setting. Notice the words begging. It shows the children's desire and frustration. We can picture the children begging their mom to let them go outside because most of us have begged an adult for something at some time. Make sure you underline the phrases and annotate your own copy of the poem. Next, let's underline the titles of the different games the mother buys for her children: Monopoly, checkers, chess, ants in the pants, sorry, trouble. The imagery in the poem paints a picture of excitement and joy. The mom doesn't buy just one game, she buys a variety of games. Some of them the children have a new way to play and bond with one another. Again, pause the video and finish adding these annotations to your copy of the poem. Now let's look at one more phrase. In line 21, the author says it is Christmas in November. This metaphor shows readers the excitement of the children as they play the games. For many readers, Christmas is a time of great excitement. Finally, pay attention to the images in the final section of the poem over here. In lines 30 and 31, the narrator shares that the two older kids don't always appreciate the creativity of the younger children. They call them immature, which is a word with a negative connotation because it implies that the younger children are not old enough to understand the rules, and the older two do not want to explain it to them. Okay, so if you have not done so, make sure you've added all these annotations to your copy of the poem.